friend of mine was telling me about a song called "I'm Coming Your Way." He was playing it for me just recently. It's about God and how we move towards Him, and He wants to move towards us. He loves His children. That reminds me of this wagon. In fact, I've been walking around trying to find this wagon just because it brings back a lot of memories. My kids have played with this wagon sometimes for hours. I don't know how many miles they may have put on this wagon. If it had an odometer, the truth would be known. But I do know about one day and one 3-mile journey that this wagon took. And the story unfolded for Michelle and I in the middle of the night with our oldest daughter, Haley. I remember it was 3 o'clock in the morning. In the middle of the night, we were sound asleep. My kids were in their bed, and there was a knock at a door. And I went downstairs to the door, and we stayed on the outside. I think the door was locked, but there was no peephole to see who it was. And I said, "Who is it?" And it was a strange voice. A lady said, "It's me," and she gave her name, and she said, "And I have your daughter." My daughter was 5 years old at the time. And she goes, "I have your daughter outside here. I have her with me." And I said, "Ma'am, that's not true. I put my daughter in the bed earlier. She's sleeping." And she responded, "No, sir, I think I have your daughter." It was about at that time that I responded again, "No, ma'am, you do not have my daughter." And then my daughter, in the middle of the night, called out from the other side of the door, outside, with this strange person, and said, "Dad, it's me, Haley." I'll never forget when I heard her voice that night. I opened the door, and there she was with this wagon, standing right beside it with her dolls and a few other things. In fact, she had even packed for my other child. She had a diaper in there and a few other items that were important to them at this early age, at 5 and at 3 years of age. And I said, "Haley, what are you doing?" And I said, "Ma'am, how did you get my daughter?" And I was trying to gather this information, and Michelle was right there, and she kind of gave me the pinch, like, "Rick, settle down." And I sort of caught myself, and I said, "Okay, explain to me what happened here." And the lady said that she found my daughter rolling this wagon 1.5 miles down the street on a 4-lane highway at a school in a busy area of town. My 5-year-old was there on the sidewalk running away from home with this wagon. And I said, "Ma'am, what did you do?" She goes, "Well, I tried to get her in the car to bring her home, but she said she wasn't allowed to get in a stranger's car. So I actually followed her all the way back to your home." And then I was extremely thankful to her, but also wanting to talk to my daughter. We thanked the lady, and the lady moved on. I've never seen her again since that day. But my daughter came inside, and Michelle and I began to talk with her. And you could tell that she knew that she had disappointed us, and she was disengaged, and she knew that she hurt us. Haley began to tell us why she ran away. She told us that a few days ago she saw a television show about this little girl who ran away from home and how much fun she had, and she brought her little brother with her. And that's exactly what Haley was doing. Not only did she pack her stuff, but she got her 3-year-old brother, Tanner, and his stuff as well. Tanner had his diaper and his stuff in the wagon. But when she went to wake him up in the middle of the night, he didn't have the strength to get out of bed. He said, "You just go on without me." And that's what she did. So she traveled for 1.5 miles away from our home in that wagon. Michelle and I were talking for days. What would we have done if she wouldn't have come home? We would have never known what happened to her. We would have been searching for her, running around the neighborhood and calling everyone to help until we found her. What if we would have never found her? There would still be an emptiness in our heart, and definitely an emptiness in our home. She's the light of the family like the other kids. You can't live without any of your children. That's precisely what I think God meant when He said that a good shepherd may have 99, but one is missing, and He's going to go out there and find him, search for her until they are found. Michelle and I noticed something very unusual about Haley over the next few days after she returned home, and that was she felt condemned. She didn't really feel worthy to talk with us. She was very quiet and very distant for a few days. But this day, I would like for you to see the Father heart of God, that He wants to move towards you. It helps us in our worship, and it helps us in our prayer time. You must know when you are worshiping God that He's moving towards you, that He desires to be around you. He wants you to be home even more than you want to be home. So I'm convinced, after all these years, from the story of the wagon to Haley coming home, that life is so much better than when my children are with me. And God says the same thing. That's why all of heaven rejoices when just one returns to the Father.